Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes. On the Rebirth server, we are with Quintessence last, our level 7 brute, who has 5,640 experience earned, just under 1,000 to go to get to level 8, and about 7,000 influence. And I decided to try some missions in the Hollows. We will get back to King's Row. I definitely want to do that so we can get a detective, because we want to be able to get the newspaper missions. Right, we don't have any detectives yet. But first, let's do a little bit in the Hollows. We talked to David Wincott, who says, "So, you're Quintessence lass, huh? I hope you're as good as your reputation." Yep, we are. These trolls are vicious, but with your help, I hope to take them out. Asking about available missions, he says, a lot of the violence in the Hollows, a lot of the worst violence in the Hollows is right here in Cherry Hill. Cherry Hill is a town in New Jersey. I lived right near it when I was in graduate school. It's here where the trolls and outcasts most frequently clash over territory. Your first assignment is, if you choose to accept it, is hit the streets and put the hurt on the outcasts. We need to create a buffer zone between them and the trolls. Okay, so we're going to defeat 10 outcasts. These guys are a little tough at this level. They're not as tough as the ones in Steel Canyon, because that's a higher level. But one issue in this zone is they definitely come in large groups. So we have a bunch of white cons and a yellow con. A couple yellow cons, actually. Oh, that's not good. We missed. I wanted to get a little bit of a head start on them. Let's see if we can get our AoE going. There we go. That's what we need. Ouch. Okay, so that's pretty good. We're doing alright. Get rid of this chiller because he's slowing down my recharge rate, and that's good. The match is not as bad because he doesn't do the slow. Let's see if we can get the AoE going. There we go. Well, let's finish that guy off. And now we finish this guy off. Oh, not yet. Come on. And that takes care of him. Oh, one thing I forgot to put into my queue, into my power tray, is rest. We now have, and you... Come on. I don't know why it does that. It did this to me the last time. It wouldn't go into that button for some reason, straight from the tray. But it'll go into one of the other buttons, and then you can drag it to 8, or 9, 10, 0, whatever. Okay. So we need to defeat 5 more. And look at that, we hit 2 of them. That's great. And hit 2 of them again. See if we can get the AoE going on all 3. There we go. Excellent. That AoE is amazing when you can get everybody in the area of effect. Now these guys aren't outcasts, but they aggro to me, so we'll just kick their butts. Look at that. The amount of damage that attack does is just fantastic. Okay, we need to defeat 1 more outcast. Well, these guys are only blue, so they'll be super easy. If we can hit. That's the second time that thing missed on the opener. That's why you really cannot rely on the sort of the general powers that they just give everybody for free, because there's no way to buff them, and they're only working off your base to hit, your base accuracy, and that means that they're not going to ever get any better in terms of to hit. And so they're not a good opener because there's like a 25% chance they're going to miss. Whereas if you buff the accuracy of your actual powers, your archetype powers, your power sets, you can have 95% chance to hit. Good job, kid. Good job. I've got some enhancements to sell you and someone I'd like you to meet. We are introduced to Meg Mason. Talk about what else is going on. So one of the things, if we're in the hollows, we're going to need to take super jump next, because this is a very hard zone to get around in if you don't have a movement power. The trolls are up to their old tricks. After seeing you go toe-to-toe to the outcasts, I think you're ready for the big leagues. The trolls. The outcasts are pesky, but the trolls are the real tamale. They're tough, Quintessence lass. They're tough and brutal. I make no bones about it. If you're willing to take on some trolls, do it. So one of the things I do want to point out, and this is a very good advantage to the darkness powers. If you take a look, we do 4 smashing and 13 negative. Right? If we use smite and shadow maul, for each tick does 4 smashing and 4 negative energy. So now the reason that's awesome is because like half of our damage is negative energy and half is smashing, which means half of our damage will be very infrequently resisted by enemies, because very few enemies have good negative resistance. The Circle of Thorns Spectres will be a huge pain, because I think they both have negative and smashing resistance. But somebody like an Outcast, or somebody like a Skull, if we go over here and hit them with Smite, right? That 11 is the negative damage, right? And they are not going to be resisting that. And see where it's going 4, 5, 4, 5. The 4 is them slightly resisting the smashing damage, I guess. And the 5 is them not resisting the negative damage. That's my guess. I'm not sure if we have the damage here. So here it actually looks like they resist the negative better. Maybe the skulls do, because they're skulls and they're kind of undead. They're not really undead, but yeah, I'm surprised that it's doing more smashing damage to them, but that's going to be unusual. Most of the time we're going to be doing more negative damage. Alright, so we need to defeat the trolls. Why am I going over here? Cherry Hills. I don't even know where Cherry Hills is here. I guess here we go. Okay, so let's see how we do against these guys. Yep, see, we do a lot of negative damage. These guys have a huge amount of smashing resistance, but I don't think they have any negative resistance. Well, it looks like they don't have... Actually, these guys don't seem to have smashing resistance. That's interesting and surprising. I thought they did. But in any case, this character will have an easier time than, say, a martial arts scrapper, because it does 2 different damage types, and not very many enemies are going to resist both damage types. Some of them won't resist either one. Let's see, what are we doing there? Yeah, see, there we're doing 5 smashing, 7 negative. Even though the ability does both, right? The power does both in equal amounts, but there's some resistance here. It's about... It looks like it's about 15% resistance. 3 more trolls to go. So I guess the minions don't have resistance, but the lieutenants do. It's very hard to tell with the brute how you're doing in terms of damage, because every time you strike a blow, you get some fury, and then you do a little bit more damage the next time, or if you take a little while to make an attack, you might lose some fury, and so forth. 1 more troll. So your damage is not constant the way it is with one of the other types of archetypes. It varies every time you make a blow, because your fury changes, and then that changes how much damage you do. Man, you can see how brutal this character already is, and she's just 7th level. Let's call Wingot, and he says, outstanding. Next mission. Thanks for your work against these troll raiders, and we're on a story arc for him. We've got a location on 2 outcast hideouts. The first is an office where outcasts have been using to store arms. It's led by a shocker who calls himself Electric Eel. The second is an abandoned office led by a brick known as Bedrock. Intelligence says it's likely that Bedrock has a number of dangerous artifacts squirreled away. Recover them, and you'll have my gratitude. So this is a defeat all mission, and we are going to level up in this mission. We might even level up before we get there if we have to fight a bunch of these guys, but we'll try to dodge them so that we don't level up too fast. I have to say, guys, I was doing like an episode a day with Nightmare Last for a long time. I don't know how much this is going to keep up, but I'm like on my 3rd episode of the day with this character because I'm just having such a blast with Dark Melee. And this is COH the way I like to play it. Masterminds are very cool aesthetically, and they're fun to play, but there's just nothing that's ever going to equal melee, scrapper, brute type characters for me. Stalkers. This is my bread and butter. I love this. This is enough like a scrapper that it's basically a scrapper. And it's super fun. And as always, I love facing tough guys like lieutenants, because it just gives me somebody to smack around. And I think we can also get super jump. We're going to need it here, but I think we can also afford to get it because we have the extra Sands of Mew. Is this a weapon? We have enough attacks that we can fill out our attack chain until a little bit later, and so I think maybe we will need to get super jump early, even though my instinct is to get another attack at level 8, and we definitely need to get our Mez defense at 10 if it opens up. Are these guys trolling? This is defeat all, so we got to beat up everybody. Let's do a little bit of a pull here. Because these guys are yellow, so I don't know who's coming. You know, like I don't know who we have around the corner here, so I'm trying to be careful. So now that black smog around him means he's taking a debuff. So in addition to the fact that we're not doing only smash damage, we also have the fact that we are, when we hit these guys, we're debuffing them so that they have a lower chance to hit. They're taking negative damage, and they are taking smashing damage. So one of the reasons people... Oh, there's Electric Eel. He's a boss. Okay, let's see. Let's get some of that. One of the reasons people like Dark Melee over, say, Martial Arts is because where Martial Arts is a one-trick pony and all it does is smashing damage and maybe a little bit of knockback, like that, which is good damage mitigation, whereas Martial Arts really is just a one-trick pony. Dark Melee does 3 or 4 things. It also has a self-heal in it, I think, and some other effects as we get into the higher levels. So it's a much more all-around type of a power set. It's a sort of a multifunctional power set. I don't think it puts quite the total raw damage out that Martial Arts does, and I don't think it's anywhere near as fast as Martial Arts, but it has a lot more utility in this set. And it has this, which is just my favorite animation attack in the whole game. I just love it. And we've leveled up, guys. We are now... Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I thought I was going to knock him over the railing. I just didn't want to chase him. We are now level 8, and we will see what powers we get offered. 2 more weapons to grab. Here's one. We've confiscated. This character's coloration and look, especially with the purple hair, is very similar to my Martial Arts Super Reflex Scrapper's look. I didn't think about that when I was building her, but she's very similar to that character's look from back in live. I guess I just like this color combo. I mean, the reason I did the purple and black for her is because that's, I feel like dark energy should be dark, and black and purple are about the darkest colors you can have in the game. And you can see we have like a purple and black motif going on here. That's the dark energy surrounding her from her energy aura. By the way, speaking of that, I have figured out why my toggle disappeared in that one episode. I was a real bonehead. I didn't think about it. It disappeared because we became the NPC character when we were doing the photography. And so it turned off, and I didn't realize I had to turn it back on. So that was just sort of inobservant on my part. Sorry about that, guys. I thought I was bugged, and here it was just I was not paying attention. And you can see when our fury is up, even just a third of the way here, you can see how effective these attacks become. So the way a brute works is when there's no fury, you're doing less damage than a scrapper. But when you get the fury up to about, I think about 40%, you're about doing equal damage to a scrapper. And if you get the fury over that, you're doing more damage than a scrapper. And if you get your fury way up to the top, you're, I think, doing the most damage of anybody in the game. Okay, so we have a couple of outcasts left to beat up, and then we are done with this mission. There they are. Hello, boys. Say hello to the inside of the ziggurat for me. The ziggurat, of course, being the supervillain prison. Oops, I do that a lot. There, and then bam. I just love that animation. I can't get enough of it. I really can't. It's awesome. Especially when you hit both guys in the cone, which I just didn't do, but you're supposed to try to do. And by the way, the negative effects, the 2-hit debuffs, stack. So when you hit a guy bang, bang, bang with 3 of these dark melee attacks, all 3 of the debuffs stack. And speaking of that, one of the things we're going to have to think about as we build this character is, do we want to build for 2-hit debuff? Right? This is minus 5% with a couple of enhancers on it. It could get it to like minus 8%. Do the same thing here. Do the same thing with 2 or 3 more attacks. You go bang, bang, bang. You're looking at minus 32 to hit, right? And then they can't. They're going to just completely whiff you. The disadvantage of that, of course, is you're either going to have to get rid of your own accuracy, get rid of your endurance reduction, get rid of your recharge, or get rid of the damage you're doing, right? And so, yeah, they're hitting you less often, but they're taking more swings at you because you're either missing them more or doing less damage to them, or you're waiting longer in between your attacks. So I'm not sure in terms of the alchemy of how I want to set this up. I'm just going to have to see how it plays. My general guess on this is I might pick one like Shadow Punch, which is already a minor, and just crank that for the 2-hit debuff. And then, like, if we can get that up to almost like 10%, like a 9% or so debuff, and then stack it with these 2, that'll go up, get us up to like 19% debuff. And with like this being moved up to about 20% defense, that's like flooring them. Or, I mean, I won't floor them, but it'll get them to like 10% to hit, and that's just awesome. If we're talking about minions, of course, lieutenants and bosses and elite bosses will have a higher chance. But I think that might work really, really well. So we'll just have to see how it goes, and I'm going to probably try a couple different combos, and we'll see what I think. Okay, so now we have to defeat the second base worth of outcasts. Actually, are we close to the entrance? Well, we'll do it, and then we'll get our new power. It's fine. This leveling happens so fast at this level that we'll just finish up here. These guys might be blue. No, they're -1 to us because this is a second part of a 2-part mission. So Even though it's level plus 0, it still counts as a 7th level mission because we took it at 7th level. So this won't be hard at all. So what should happen, at least in theory, is once we have our multiple of our attack powers in, what should be happening is the more we hit them, the stronger we get, the more damage we do, and the less chance they have to hit us. Right? So theoretically, the longer a battle goes, the better we get, both in terms of getting stronger with the Fury, and also in terms of weakening them more. And that's, it's sort of always the case for brutes, not really for scrappers, right? Scrappers, especially somebody like Super Reflex, you're stronger at the beginning going in, right? And then as time goes on, you're struggling against, the increasing chance you're going to get hit if you're, say, a Super Reflex scrapper. This character isn't, because every time she hits these guys, right, he's now at minus 10% to hit me, plus 14% defense, so he only has like a 25% chance to hit. You can see he just whiffed me twice, right? Because the more I hit him, the weaker he gets. And as we get through more of our powers, we're going to start getting, powers that allow us to like suck their hit points and give them to us, and things like this. And so, so the nice thing about a brute is that a brute gets stronger as the fight goes on, relative to the bad guys, and the brute also, and the dark melee gets essentially stronger. It weakens the opponent the more the battle goes on, and so so either way, a longer battle becomes more and more to your advantage as the fight goes on, which is very cool. And it sort of stacks for Dark Melee Brute. I mean, it's true for Dark Melee Scrapper or Tanker, if there is one. It's true for a Brute, but it's like double true for a Dark Melee Brute. I didn't even think about it when I built this character. I just went Dark Melee because I was like, yeah, I like Dark Melee. And I wanted this, right, this punch. And I went Brute because, well, I've done Scrapper, I've done Stalker, right? So we may as well do a Brute. And I haven't done a Brute. I've never gotten a Brute past, like, 20th level, ever. So I wanted to try that. Obviously, doing what I haven't done is more interesting than doing what I've already done. And a Brute plays enough like a Scrapper that I'm perfectly happy. But I hadn't really thought about the synergy of the Brute getting stronger with Fury and the Dark Melee weakening the enemy as time goes on. And so basically you're doubling it. So the longer the fight goes on, the more and more dominant you become as a Dark Melee Brute, it would seem to me. Now, I haven't played one, but I think that that's the case. I do remember a friend of mine played a Dark Brute from launch of City of Villains, and he was frigging a beast. He was a beast. He was awesome. I really like this dark energy that's weaving around us in purple. It really does look how I picture dark energy would look if you could see it. It's very cool. I need to change the look of Combat Jump if I can. I'm not sure if they let you do that, because that should be purple also. I need to change like the physical appearance of it. There's Bedrock. He's a boss. Alright. Just take a little insurance there. We probably don't need that, but we'll be alright. I love knocking back. That's nice. So one of the things to think about in terms of the design, right, if we look at the details, this is 10 seconds and this is 10 seconds. So you think about this, right? The animation time of this is about a second. The animation time of this is about 3 seconds. So 4 seconds. This thing has a 6-second recharge. So when you've got the rechargers on it, theoretically, you could do whatever it is, strike or whatever the quick punch is. You could maybe get 4 of these in a row. So as you're thinking about the alchemy of how you want to do the slotting, do you want to slot for... why is this not... I thought I didn't click on it. I don't know. As you're thinking about how you want to slot it, you have to think about how many of the debuffs can I get in before the first one wears off, right? How much of it can you stack? And that's something I have to think about too. What have we got here? Anything useful? Okay, I'll take the accuracy. And I'll take the run speed in sprint. No, not in sprint. In Swift. Why Swift and not sprint? Because it runs... It doesn't have as big an effect. Because Swift is a smaller percentage. It's a smaller number to multiply by that small percentage. But Swift is always on. And it stacks with sprint. So, okay. So we're going to call Wincott. And that finished the story arc. Introduced a new contact. Flux. And now what we're going to do is go to Foreshadow, which is a really awesome name for a superhero, and get our level up done. So I'm looking at these two are pretty close. Maybe we could avoid the super... But see, the thing is, I was thinking maybe we could avoid the super jump, get another attack power at 8, super jump at 10, but the problem is then we have to wait till 12 for Mez Defense. And you know me, I want Mez Defense in as soon as possible. Especially here with Practice Brawler, it might not be as big of a deal because you can't make it permanent. Who's daring to attack me? With Practice Brawler, you can't make it permanent until level 22 anyway. So delaying that a little bit isn't a big deal because you can't use it all the time. But if it's a toggle, you can use it all the time the instant you get it, and make yourself immune to Mez Defense from the moment you get it. So, let's see what it's offering. Power Shield. So, Entropic Aura is the Mez Defense. We should get that at 10. Siphon Life lets us transfer between the foe and ourselves. Right? And so if we look, it lets me do 27 negative energy damage to the target and heal me by 22%. And it does a 2-hit debuff. And it taunts. Touch of Fear terrorizes them and puts a minus 2-hit debuff on them for 20 seconds. Now, I don't know what the point is of that because they're terrorized for 16 seconds. Well, the 2-hit debuff works whether they're terrorized or not, I guess. Shadow Punch is also cool. I desperately want all of this. We don't need taunt early on. Power Shield is going to be a defense against fire, cold, energy, and psionic attacks. Oh no, that's PvP. Yeah, fire, cold, energy, and negative energy. And that gives us resistance to knockback as well. No, that gives us 15% defense to everything but negative energy. 10% to that, and resistance to defense debuffs. I want it. Oh, I want it all. This is the trouble in low levels. I'm gonna get super jump. I think we need the movement power. Let's just go ahead and take it. And sprint, I'm gonna put over here because we're not gonna need that anymore. Well, let's see. I'll put it here because we can use it in missions and stuff, but okay, so we have Flux. Let's go talk to Flux. And my favorite movement power is back. I love super jump. Look at that. Oh, so cool. So let's see. This episode's been a while. How long has it been? We're at 30 minutes. So we'll talk to Flux. Let's do one more mission. These are going to be slightly longer episodes, I guess, because I can't stop. I'm just having a blast with this character. I want to say not to say that I didn't have a blast with Nightmare Last. It's just that this is really more my cup of tea when it comes to playing this game. This is City of Heroes to me. The melee, the aggressive melee attacking pattern of the Brood or the Scrapper or the Stalker is even the Stalker. It's a lot of sneaking around, lining somebody up, doing a one-shot. It's not quite the same as just diving in and attacking and not caring. That's more the Scrapper style, and the Brute has the same style, and I like it. Okay, so first things first, Quintessence last. You've got to be cautious. What did I just say? I'm not going to be cautious. I'm putting my hide on the line for you, and I hope you're worth it if you're willing to work with me and be discreet. I can give you tips on what's going on with the outcasts. First, I'd like to see you take the streets and arrest some of my so-called friends. The police in the Hollows are fighting the battle on two fronts, and the trolls are too strong to make a move on yet. I already arrested some outcasts, but I'll do that again. Go find 10 outcasts. Should be some right here. These are too weak. I want to find some white cons, if we can. Okay. That looks better. Hi there, Match. Oh, this is going to be fun. There's a lot of them. Alright, I'm going to see if I can get all these, several of these guys, maybe. Wow, I still only got one of them in the cone. That's pretty lame. And I missed with that. Come on, there should be several of you in the cone now. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. And then this should take them all out. 3 in a row. Take 3 all at once taken out. So look at that. We took out 8 guys. No problem. And our Fury is up there. Which means we should be able to take these guys on super fast and easy. And do a lot of damage to them. Look at that. Practically one-shotted them. Don't like missing. There's our 10 outcasts. And we go back to Flux. Oh, he's right here. How you doing, buddy? So, you did pretty good out there. Yeah, I think we did. What other missions do you have? Flux the Outcast. Check it, I've got a hot tip for you today. Some of my buddies in the Outcasts are planning to raid a warren infested with trolls. If you can get there, you can put a load of bad guys in jail. If you can't, well, the caverns around the hollows are anything but stable, and the Outcasts are hoping to bring that cave down crashing on the trolls just in case their powers aren't enough. They brought along a couple of bombs to finish the job, so we're going to have to defeat the leaders and probably defuse the bombs. So we'll go ahead and do this mission. I'll try to do it relatively quickly. Hopefully it won't take a really long time because we've been at this for a while. But I have to tell you guys I'm having a blast. Super fun. And I'm really enjoying it. This is my bread and butter. And I haven't played a Scrapper. And other than a couple speedrun episodes, which was like one weekend, I haven't played a Scrapper or a Brute since like April of last year. It's been 8 or 9 months. I did a Stalker for about 4 months. I did a Mastermind for about 4 months. And again, they were fun, but this is my favorite. I think I want to do this that way. Don't ask me why, I just do. It's just how I've always done it. Hello, trolls. Goodbye, trolls. How is that guy behind and not in the cone? He should be. There we go. And I love that, like, finishing, like, thunk. Like, you do, it does, like, bang, 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 and then poof, like, really firm. It's very solid. I think that's why I like Dark Melee. The way I like Super Reflexes, because the strikes just sound and feel very solid. And a lot of the other kinds of strikes, like even Super Strength, really doesn't feel that solid, which is a shame because Super Strength ought to be solid. It's Super Strength. It should be the most solid thing in the game. But it doesn't feel that way to me. And that Jutal is one of the lieutenant types of the trolls. There we go. Good deal. So in terms of inspirations, I think Brute, same, especially a Defense Brute, same priority as a Super Reflex Scrapper. We are going to try to go yellow, red, blue, gold, green, and then purple. And as we get into the higher levels, we may start looking at, say, 2 yellows, 2 reds. Maybe we won't need endurance and do a stripe of green and then a bunch of purples and maybe some orange. We'll see. All right, so these are yellow cons. This is going to be a little tougher, but we're going to go get it and take these guys out, and I think it's going to be awesome. We're a brute. The more they attack me, the stronger we get. And if we can't hit, that's going to be a little frustrating. Let's see if we can get 2 guys. No, we missed the second guy. Wow, we missed them both. That is super frustrating. Look at all the missing. Missed streaks, here we come. You know, I didn't notice those at all with my mastermind because her minions were missing. She wasn't missing. Let's go get this lieutenant while our Fury is up. Unfortunately, the Fury only does more damage. It doesn't make you hit more often. One thing you will see is I'm going to do a lot more repositioning with this character than I would do with, say, a martial arts scrapper, because the only thing you worry about with a martial arts scrapper potentially is maybe worrying about where you're going to KB somebody. But with this character, we have to worry about the angle of that cone because it is her best attack. It does a massive amount of damage. And if it catches like 3 guys in it, you can basically in one shot take them all out. We take one guy out and we bring the other guy down really low and finish him with another shot. And there's a bomb. So 2 bombs to disarm, 1 left, and defeat the rest of the enemies. This is super fun. Feels exactly the same as a scrapper. We don't need this much resistance, so we can go ahead and take that. Ah, another miss. And triple misses. 4 out of 6. 5 out of 7 misses. Horrible. Let's see if we can get them both. Nope. He moved. And there we go. I really like these caves. I think they did a nice job on them. Although I feel like the original caves are a little bit less repetitive looking, I guess is the word. These caves are just tunnels. They look cool, but they're just tunnels, whereas the older version, the ones from the original game, which you don't see in the hollows, but you'll see in other parts of the game, like fighting Circle and stuff when they're not in Oran-Bega, those caves have more like different rooms to them. Whereas this is, there are no rooms here, it's just a tunnel. The tunnel may widen out or narrow, but you don't get the sense of chambers and rooms and stuff like that. These guys take a lot of punishment, the lieutenants, but our character dishes out a lot of punishment too. 2 lieutenants here, so we'll do a little extra damage. We're also doing more damage from the Fury. Let's get some extra accuracy so that we hit more. There we go. That's what I like to see. Look at that. Finished them both off. That is awesome. Look at that. Still missed. Even with the accuracy inspiration going. Another miss. We definitely need major accuracy on Shadow Maul. So we got a clue here. Torn page that reads, I hear them chattering constantly in my mind, the minions of Igneous. Am I going crazy? Okay, so Igneous is like a rock elemental, I believe. Like an earth elemental. I don't know, it's been a long time since I've done these stories. Like, probably a year and a half, maybe more. I think I was doing these summer of 2019 with Liberty last, so it's, yeah, a year and a half. And there are the last couple of villains and the last glowy, and that will be the end of our missions for the night. I am having a lot of fun, guys. Almost got all 3 a minute, but we missed that one. Finish up with my favorite attack power in the set. Mission done. Oh my gosh, we are just inches away from level 9. We are so close. Oh, that's scary. Yeah, we don't want to be fighting any level 15s when we're level 8. Let's talk to Flux. And he says, thanks for taking care of that outcast bombing. You're welcome, Flux. We're going to head over to you. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Get out of here. We don't want to fight. We don't want to fight purples. I mean, we're going to be able to fight purples at some point, but not right now. Right? We're not that tough yet. Oops. Going the wrong way. So let's head back to Flux. This area is a lot more our speed. Actually, we're so close to leveling up. I say we should do it. Look how close we are. And there it is. Yeah, you should run. God, I feel like I get so many more enhancements at this level than at the higher levels. I guess they replace them with invention salvage, right? We've already got a little of that. Alright, so let's actually, never mind Flint, let's Flux, whatever, let's level up. You'd think after all the time with Silver Phoenix I'd be better at super jumping, but the problem is at this level, I'm so used to having the level 50 fully enhanced super jump that it doesn't go as far as I expect, and I end up missing where I'm aiming at. It'll take a while. I'll get used to the low level stuff eventually, guys. So this will get us 2 more slots. And I think we're going to finish, what was it, health? And then let's put one on smite. Excellent. Alright folks, I hope you enjoyed. I certainly did. Until next time, I am Scrapperlock, and this has been City of Heroes on the Rebirth server.